Welcome to the Pushing Limits podcast, where we explore the people, places, and products that are pushing the limits. I'm your host, Rich Vargas.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Pushing Limits podcast. I'm here today in beautiful Miami, Florida with Brian from Orion Boatworks. What's going on, Brian?
How's it going, brother?
It's going good, man. Thanks for having us out here.
Oh, thank you guys for coming all the way from California. That was a heck of a trek.
Oh, yeah, man. Caught the red eye, and so we're a little sleepy, but, man, you got that espresso going, that Cuban coffee, and
It's the only way we can get to keep the guys fueled up around here.
we're ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, man.
Well, awesome, man. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself, man. What's your background, and then how'd you end up, starting Orion Boatworks?
So it was pretty cool. I mean, I've been in kind of the nerd space, we'll call it. IT background, lots of embedded hardware, electrical, low voltage, high voltage designs. And, many, many years ago, I had another partner, and we had a spot down at Ocean Reef and started rigging boats. Besides the audio video stuff we were doing, rigging boats next door at Anglers Club, and did an 88 Lazara with a full Garmin outfit when it was Ray Marine and Furuno only. And that was kind of like the big eye-opener for us. It was all network-based. RJ45 was very native to what I had been doing in my, in the past IT world.
Okay.
So it was really, really easy for me to jump on it. Everything just kind of worked. People kind of scoffed at it because it was like the new guy on the street that were used to like the watches for, running and whatever.
Right.
But they came on the scene really hard. It was a great product. And outside of the hydraulic stuff that we didn't get into with the autopilot, we did the whole install in 2 days.
Really?
So it was something that was unusual for that space, and it really helped us just blow up out there at Anglers Club in Ocean Reef. And many, many years later, Alan and I got together with Eric, our other partner, and we sea trialed basically a hull and deck of a 29 Orion with twin 200 Suzukis and fell in love with the ride. It wasn't something that we could take credit for because it was a tried and true design that was stretched, which we have cool blueprints of. And just fell in love with it and started working on the interior tooling. And that's kind of what brings us to the product that we have today.
This episode is brought to you by Pelagic Gear, built for life on the water. Pelagic delivers gear trusted by pros and worn by those who live the ocean lifestyle. Check them out at pelagicgear.com.
With you guys being basically the mother company of center consoles only, and then branching out and starting Orion, I mean, you guys have had the opportunity to be on probably every center console known to man. How has that experience kind of helped shape the new design behind Orion?
That's a great question. Actually, what it did is more so than learning what we wanted to do, we knew what we didn't want to do. Okay. And that was to overfill the boat with things. We have a slogan, it's everything you need and nothing you don't. And it was that simplistic design. It's a boat for every man. We know that when we go out there, we want to have the least amount of issues, the least amount of worries on the boat. So keep it stupid simple was and always is, or has been rather, the mantra. Everything we do is modular, as I've shown you guys. Every component works collectively, but they can work independent. So if there is one system failure, a pump failure, or heck, even if the bracket takes on water, it's hermetically sealed from the transom. So we're never going to have a problem there. So that's kind of the thought process of the way that we build the boats, is to keep everything where they function independently, but they work cohesively together when you're out on the water.
Right. That's awesome, man. And we saw that today, man, with the redundancies of all the different systems that you have on there, man. It's awesome. Would you say that your background in kind of like the electrical space and in more or less like the engineering side of that played a key role in this?
I think it's definitely helped.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that had happened, and we joke about this, that the marine space is behind the automobile space by like 20 years. And basically, all we did was keep it simple. Again, we stuck to that mantra. We kept it simple. Troubleshooting is very, very easy. Deutsch connected everything. We, load test everything on the bench before the panels go on the boat. We test all our components before they go on the boat. So just keeping it really simple. It's a lot easier to replace something when it's sitting on the bench rather than when it's installed already and it's in the customer's hands. So a lot of that quality control that the guys are doing, it definitely is what sets us apart.
Right. That's awesome, man. And that's what really drew me to the Orion, man. We met a little over a year ago, and, we went on the sea trial, and I was blown away. I mean, one being the ride, right? For a 29-foot center console, we went out on a shitty day. We were getting our asses handed to us, and the boat just performed, man. Yeah. And, me coming from, a lot of the bigger boats, right? That Everglades with, the ram cap design, big, heavy foam, filled boats. And then, the Invincible Cats, I come from, riding some of the, what I think are, two of the most solid in stable rides, in center consoles. And then I got on this Orion. I was like, holy shit. I felt like I was on one of these, much bigger boats, and it was very impressive. And, really excited to, represent the Orions on the West Coast, because I think there's definitely a need on the West Coast, right? The, tried and true kind of staple boat on the West Coast prior to some of these bigger center consoles showing up was like the 2520 Parker, right? And, people love, their cuddy cabins, things like that. But as they're now seeing that, hey, the performance behind these center consoles with what our fisheries are doing on the West Coast, you got to fish farther, you got to fish faster, and having, the efficiency, unfortunately, with our California gas prices, that was one of the big things. We were cruising day to day at 40 and getting almost 2.2. That's unheard of on any boat you're going to see on the West Coast, man. So we're excited to get these boats out here and see what they can do.
Dude, we're excited to see them out there. Part of what really drew us to it was that whole design, like we mentioned. Can't take any credit for it, but the fact that it had that efficiency on it, regardless of what the gas prices were at the pump, it really made us cognizant that we had a high-performing hull. So that meant that we didn't have to overpower it. So you get a financial relief from your initial purchase of the boat. You can get smaller engines, and you're still getting the economy on the boat. So like our boat club boats all take the 225 Mercs, which is what we were on today. And like you said, 38, we were at 2.2. We had 6 people on the boat, half a tank of fuel, and it just rides very well. So we built on top of that. We tooled a brand new console, which was it's a 3-piece mold, extremely complicated to build. But just was the piece de resistance. It gave us all that additional space between the cap and the console. Big lounge in the front, but you still had an 8-foot dance floor essentially all the way to the bow, and in that area, and it's completely fishable.
Right.
So those are the kind of things that really drew us to it, and really helped that boat perform the way it does.
And the performance is incredible, not only with how it rides, but the fuel economy. But I think one of the cooler things about these is that they're pretty much a semi-custom build, As a customer coming in, you can really spec this thing out to how you want it, man. And that's awesome.
What's really cool is the further away we get boats. We've got 2 boats in here. One's going to Mississippi, one's going to Alabama. We've sent boats, as I mentioned, to the Mid-Atlantic. Everybody's fishery is different. Right. And one of the neatest things about this whole process is how much time we get to speak to the customers, how much time we get to spend with them, how we learn how they fish and what they do when they fish. So, the rod holder configurations can be very different from a Southeast boat to, say, a Chatham Mass boat. Right. It's a very different fishery. We got a lot of guys who snowbird. And so they'll come down and they'll fish South Florida for half the year, and they'll go back up to the Northeast for half the year. Mm. So those guys have different requirements. The guys in the Mid-Atlantic have different like bluefish requirements, so they have additional live wells that they needed to have plumbed. So we can accommodate for everybody. Right. Things that don't have to be molded, obviously, but we're able to accommodate as necessary. I mean, we did one boat that has 4 additional deck fills and deck drains along with a full manifold system. So they can send the water from their sea chest anywhere they want on the boat, 360 gallons worth an hour, and it's pretty unique. We're in a unique place, and we're really, really happy to be here.
That's awesome. And I think, a lot of the guys that are, the serious fishermen in, at least Southern California, having that modular setup, because, during the summer, they may be fishing, Southern California, going out to Catalina, chasing these bluefin. And during the winter, there's a lot of guys that are going to Baja. And that's another location where I see these boats really performing is Baja, California. Sea of Cortez, Cabo, LA Bay. It's a very trailerable boat, which is awesome. And, having the range, the efficiency, the ability for an upper station, I was blown away. So I'm stoked to see him out there.
Oh, man, we can't wait to get him out there. That second station, as you mentioned, the view from that point, that vantage point is insane. On a boat like this, to have that stand through second station is probably my favorite outfit.
Awesome, man. Yeah. What would you say are like 3 key components that are setting Orion apart from some of the other manufacturers in its class right now?
I think you touched on a couple of them. The ride quality is going to be a big deal. Keeping it simple and the semi-custom nature of it.
Okay.
I think between those three, we can really tailor the boat to the person who's using the boat. We're building the boat for them. We're not building the boat for ourselves. We don't build spec boats.
Right.
So that's, that kind of, those three things are really the top ones on my list.
That's awesome, man. How many boats have you guys made so far?
I think right now we're at 35.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, in just a few years, really extremely proud of the team that we have. We're bringing on some really high quality guys in here, both the lamination department, planning, purchasing, rigging. It's really a massive team effort, but they're putting in the work to get these boats out there.
Oh yeah, and you guys got a top-notch operation.
Thank you.
What are lead times looking like right now?
So lead times today, we can probably get a boat between 3 and 4 months right now.
Boom.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be as difficult as it was before.
Right.
Materials are actually pretty good to come by, and so is equipment and engines.
I love it. And you guys got a really cool thing going on. If people want to, get out on an Orion, is the CCO Boat Club out here right now. Tell me a little bit about that and how's that going?
So the CCO Boat Club was meant to basically create a vertically integrated boat club whereby you can be a member. You have your monthly membership. You can have a certain amount of uses per month, send some uses into the future, have your daily, bookings. And basically, for the person who is not interested in kind of one of the other boat clubs, maybe entry-level stuff, maybe these guys have already had a smaller boat, or they got a family, they want to have some forward seating on the boats and really take them offshore. They have a longer range. They got twin engines. It's fully decked out, $265,000 boat that they're going out on for the most part. And a lot of the guys just want the convenience. A lot of people just want the convenience. We have them in pretty dense city areas. So trailering is not quite as easy down here in South Florida. And dockage is very expensive. Right. So it really takes a lot of the costs out of it. And they can get out there as much as they want and, use the boats.
Right. I love it, man. And I think that's, especially in our areas that we service for Pacific Icon being, Baja California, Costa Rica, there's in these areas, there's still kind of that gap where it's you've got your Ponga and then you've got your Viking, right? And there's really not too much in the middle. And I think, seeing what these boats are capable of, how they perform, and how they perform in rough seas and rough conditions, it's going to allow people to really push the limits in these areas, man, chase these bigger fish and then, the modular nature of everything, man. So I think, the boat we spec out for, Baja California, doing tuna tubes, a tower, things like that, it's going to be next level. We're excited.
Yeah, we're super excited to see it, man. That's haven't done tuna tubes yet, so that's another one that we'll have to figure out, and that's kind of the most fun part. It's building a boat for the client.
Yeah, kind of trial and error. What are any cool innovations you guys have kind of coming up in the future here for the Orions?
We've got forward seating for the 29,
okay,
which that's in tooling right now. So we're about 10 days away or so, 11 days, give or take, from having the forward seating ready. And there is a bigger model. Can't say what it is just yet.
All right.
But there is a bigger model. We'll tease that out there. We do have the 18, so that's pretty cool. We picked up that 18 early in the year and we're just finishing last little tooling bits. So we'll have that on the water. We've got a couple in the club already.
Okay.
But we'll have them in customers' hands very soon as well.
Talk to me a little bit about the 18, the skiff, and what was the purpose and drive behind that?
So again, to feed the club. We felt that the Islamorada area would really benefit from having an inshore skiff, and we had bought a couple of skiffs and kind of looked at, hey, maybe there's something out there we can tool in ourselves, and ended up purchasing a mold that was pre-existing with a boat. And so we were able to sea trial it, see if we liked it, see what we didn't like, and made a couple modifications to it, and we've got the 18 inshore skiff.
Awesome. Man, so coming out here today, you guys have definitely given us the VIP tour, man. You guys have a top-notch facility. We love seeing, how you guys do all the rigging and everything. What does it take for people to come out here and come check out the facility?
So that VIP tour is really available to pretty much anybody who wants to get into an Orion, or anybody who's got a build on the schedule. It's fully transparent. It's an open door policy in the rig shop and lamination. We want you to see everything we do. One of the things we take pride in is how we build it and why we build it the way we do. So it's a lot of fun for me, particularly, to show people how we build it and why. And that's something I think consumer education is absolutely key. Like, you want to know what you're buying, or at least I like my customers to know what they're buying and the quality of why we do things, why the whole bottom is solid, why the transom is Coosa cord, why the whole sides are cord. Like we like to explain exactly what those things mean to your build and the longevity of the boat that you have.
Right. Awesome, man. Well, thanks for having us out today, man.
My pleasure.
We really appreciate it. And go ahead, guys. Follow Orion Boatworks and check us out online. Brian, thanks for your time, man.
Hey, it was my pleasure,
I
Rich.
appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, brother.